Hello everyone, welcome to AIT concept video. My name is Narala Siddhartha. My roll number is 20951A6744. My branch is Computer Science Engineering with Data Science as specialization. My subject is Business Economics and Financial Analysis. Today my topic is Barometric Methods of Demand Forecasting. So let's start. So I mainly divided the content into three parts. In the first part, I am going to discuss about what is demand forecasting. In the second part, I am going to discuss about the barometric methods of demand forecasting. In the last part, I am going to discuss and give a conclusion about these topics. So let's begin. What is demand forecasting? The basic idea about what is demand forecasting. What is demand forecasting? Accurate and effective demand forecasting is a game changer for your business. Its primary purpose is to ensure that companies meet expected customer demand, but it can be used for so much more. Planning for demand will help allocate resources, measure a business strength, and plan strategies to exploit opportunities and gain market share. Demand forecasting helps to understand and predict demand, maintain the right amount of supply to meet that demand, and to manage product life cycle within an industry. Demand forecasting is the process that enables demand planners and supply chain professionals to estimate customer demand for a product based on prior sales data and other contributing data factors. Creating a demand forecasting helps companies better understand, predict, and plan their products and make better business decisions. The demand plan is used to ensure that there will be enough product supply to meet customer demand. This is a key component of the supply chain management process because it also informs the planning aspects of other supply chain processes, including material procurement, purchasing, logistics, and demand distribution. Demand forecasting is essential to the planning process and allows companies to improve the ability to determine future demand by relying on internal data such as historical data and external data such as weather, seasonal variations, supply chain constraints, etc., to determine how much supply needs to be produced to meet demand. Well done. When done well, demand forecasting can help companies make informed decisions that help them create enough supply to fulfill customer demand, gain insight to circumvent possible supply chain constraints, and potentially gain an advantage over their competitors. For example, if a toy retailer realizes that shipment for one of the season's most popular toys could be delayed due to port congestion, demand planners would evaluate the impact of the reduced availability and how it might affect downstream sales for them and their competitors. The demand forecast might have to be reduced, but predicted sales of similar products that are available might need to increase. The demand planners would monitor this situation closely since the consequence on market share and long term sales could be significant. Lead times and service levels. The demand forecasting is produced by demand planning because of supply chain activity. Lead times that consists of buy, make, and sell activities, and customer service levels, which are calculated from the customer expected lead time. This is the crucial balance of how long it takes for a business to deliver its product against how long a customer is willing to wait for it. Therefore, businesses must create a demand forecasting when their supply chain activity lead times are longer than customer expected order lead times. Optimizing supply chain activity lead times and improving customer service levels is an essential business activity and is a reason why demand forecasting is done. How does demand forecasting work? Demand forecasting works like this. Planners create a forecast using the statistical or calculated methods. This baseline forecast can then be augmented by other forecasts such as from sales and marketing, as well as insight from product management and finance. The planners will measure KPIs such as forecast accuracy and bias perform scenarios or what if planning, and ultimately create an enriched consensus forecast. To build an accurate demand forecast, a planner must gather transactional data into measures and map it in to dimensions, hierarchies, levels, and attributes that represent the business structure. This information, which is typically very large in size, will be managed in a software program which will use calculations, time series models, or machine learning technology to generate the demand forecasting. From there, the planner visualizes the forecast and uses exception management to identify issues that need to be resolved. Key issues to be resolved could include managing product life cycles such as new product introductions, product transitions, and end of life dates, as well as forecast accuracy bias and outliers. Planning can make forecast comparisons through tournaments, scenarios, and simulations to identify improvements, and any necessary adjustments can be applied as a forecast overrides. The refined demand forecast will be assisted in demand reviews and sales and marketing. This team will consider options to close any gaps in the forecast to budget and exploit market share opportunities using events, promotion, and pricing strategies. Ultimately, a conscientious forecast will be created, authorized, and used as a key input to the monthly sales and operations planning meeting, and published for supply planning to use for purchasing, manufacturing, delivery planning. Types of demand forecasting. So there are some types of demand forecasting which are discussed below. Manual demand forecasting, which relies on planners inputting a forecast manually instead of using a forecast engine or automated calculation. Passive demand forecasting, it relies on historical data to predict future demand. Active demand forecasting, which uses internal data like market research and additional data to determine potential demand from customers. Macro level demand forecasting, it relies on external conditions that could directly affect or influence the business and can help planners build out a strategy to capitalize on trends or influence factors that could drive business decisions. Internal business forecasts help companies on operational risks and opportunities within their own business. Short-term forecasts, which uses sensing and shaping at a granular level. Medium-term forecasts will be at the more aggregated levels. Long-term forecasts and many more others. Demand forecasting for your business. Overall, demand forecasting helps companies not only predict potential demand but also develop effective capacity planning and inventory management to ensure that there is enough supply on hand to meet demand in each region and each channel that a company does business. So, barometric methods of demand forecasting. So, the barometric method of forecasting was developed to forecast a trend in the overall economic activities. This method can nevertheless be used in forecasting the demand prospects, not necessarily the actual quantity expected to be demanded. Often the barometric method of forecasting is used by the meteorologists in weather forecasting. The weather conditions are forecasted on the basis of movement of mercury in a barometer. Based on this logic, economics use economic indicators as a barometer to forecast the overall trends in the business activities. The barometric method of forecasting was developed in 1920s, but however was abandoned due to its failure to predict the Great Depression in the 1930s. The barometric technique was, however, revived, informed, and developed further by the National Bureau of Economic Research (NBER) USA in the late 1930s. The barometric method is based on the approach of developing an index of relevant economic indicators and forecasting the future trends by analyzing the movements in these indicators. A time series of several indicators is developed to study the future trend. These can be classified as leading series, The leading series is comprised of indicators which move up or down ahead of some other series. The most common examples are of leading indicators are net business investment index. So coincident series. The coincident series include indicators which move up and down simultaneously with the general level of economic activities. Lagging series. A series consisting of those indicators which often sometimes lag follows the change. The following are the criteria on which the indicators are chosen. The economic significance of the indicator, time series, statistical adequacy, conformity with the movement in overall economic activities, immediate availability of the time series, the consistency of the series to the turning point in overall economic activity, smoothness of the series. The problem of the indicator selection may rise if some indicators appear in more than one class of the indicators. Thank you.